In a previous video, we covered different aspects of a user profile. So we went through different options here in the side navigation bar. So this was the home page for a logged in user as we discussed in the last video. Now in this particular section, we would actually go through other navigation, which is from the top navigation bar. So if you look at the tabs upcoming classes and take private lessons, this is something which we discussed already in one of our previous videos, but we would go through it from a perspective of a user who is logged in. And then again you have get personalized offers, and you have want to teach, and then you also have an inbox. So let's start going through it. First we click on upcoming lessons, upcoming classes. So here you have a list of classes which are displayed in a card format. You have some filters here, and then you also have some sorting options at the top. So we saw this particular screen in a very first video where we were going through an experience of a non-logged in user. So it's very similar. Now maybe let's click on one of these class cards itself. So let's say if we click on this one, so you can see that this is the class profile, or the class detail page. So you have some description, you have some other details about this class, schedule, requirements, and then you have a set of attendees for this class and the organizer, right? So if you remember from the first video, there were certain actions on this page which were prompting you to log in. For example, if you tried to send a message to an organizer, it was asking you to log in for the right reasons. And also with book a place, it was asking you to log in because you should not be able to book a particular class without logging in, right? But in this case, we are already logged in our platform, right? So we are working as a user who has an account and who has actually signed in. So maybe let's go through these options now from this perspective. So let's say if you try to send a message to this organizer, you see that there's a pop-up that comes up. You can send your you can type in your message, and then you click on send, and then basically your message has been sent, right? So this is just a prompt or just success alert, right? So it says that congratulations, your message has been sent. Now let's say if we try to look at the attendees, so this was something which was available even to a non-signed in user, right? Because it doesn't hurt you to show a list of attendees to a user who is not logged in to the platform. So that's why this was something which was working even for a non-logged in user. And it works for this case as well. So you see a list of attendees, and you can actually, yeah, see what is their name, what is their picture, and then eventually also go to their profile. Now this one, book a place, is basically when you want to make a booking for this lesson. So you see that this class is 30 euros per person, and you are okay with it, and you click on book a place. So you see that it shows you a very short summary of your class that you're trying to book. You can book multiple tickets here. So let's say if you want to book it for yourself and also one of your friends, then maybe you select 2 tickets. And then you also have a link for check schedule. So we showed you the schedule on the class page, but this is another chance that you can actually have a look at the schedule and see if it conforms to your own personal schedule and if it fits well. So you can basically check the schedule and then eventually fill in your payment details and click on complete booking. So once you click on complete booking, you see that you have been booked for this class. So you see that it gives you a prompt that you're going, right? And it shows the time remaining for this particular class. So this is pretty much it for the class booking funnel. And of course, if you book a class here, it would show up in your home page, my classes. It would come as a class card here. And then eventually, let's say if you decide to cancel your booking, you can also cancel it like we discussed in the previous video. Okay, so this was for class booking. Now the next thing is private lessons, right? So we discussed in our first video, this is another engagement that a user can have with the tutor, where it's not a public class, but you can book a tutor on a personal one-to-one level, right? So you have two ways of searching a tutor. One is search the tutor himself or herself, or search for the package that the tutor offers. So first of all, if you search for the tutors, you put in your filter criteria, and then you get a list of tutors which are again displayed in the form of cards. And also you can maybe search the packages. So let's say if you are searching for a very specific learning package, if you have a very specific objective in mind, you can maybe put in that, okay, I want German email communication in this instance, for example. So you search for this package and then you click on one of those, and then you reach the tutor profile. So here you can see you have some profile details, you have the relevant experience, you have a schedule, and you also very interestingly have a time zone drop down here. So the idea is that Gunabu is supposed to be a multi-time zone platform, right? So what you want is, let's say if a tutor is, sorry, if a student is searching for a tutor who's maybe in a different time zone, they can actually maneuver a bit with the time zones here. So maybe I can put in my current time zone and see how do these slots change based on that. So for example, if there's a tutor who's in Australia and maybe a student who's in US, they should not be doing time zone based calculations in their mind. It should all be reflected in the platform. So you should be able to maneuver based on this drop down. So you have then also a section for selecting location, booking on hourly basis, and booking a package. So for a tutor, there could be two types of one-to-one bookings. One is on an hourly level, so you book a certain number of hours for that tutor. And second could be some of the packages that the tutor has curated. So all the tutors, they would actually be coming up with their own packages. So for example, if I have a skill set of I don't know, Python and MySQL, maybe I come up with certain packages which are pre-curated by me. So for example, I come up with a package learn Python for data science or something like that, right? And then I create a package for it, and then either you can select one of those packages, or alternatively you can actually book me for 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever, right? So these are the two types of bookings that are possible for a tutor for a one-to-one lesson. And then at the very bottom you have some reviews. So it has a star rating and some comment. Okay, so maybe let's go to the booking funnel now. So let's say if I try to book on an hourly level, it shows me it's an hourly booking. This is the location that I selected, number of hours, total amount, and it shows me that I can select the exact date and time of session after completing payments. So because it's a 5 hour session, I would need to select 5 hour slot in the tutor calendar itself. So I put in my details, my card details, whatever, or I pay by PayPal, and then I click on complete booking. So this one is basically an intermediate screen which would be automatically redirected to the next page. But let's say if it doesn't redirect, you can click here, and as promised, we would give you an option to select time slot. So if you remember in the previous screen, we had promised that you can select time slots after making the payment. So this is where you have already made the payment, and now you can select the time slot. So you, in this case, have, let's say, 2 hours. So you can select the time slot, and it would come in this particular section. So here are the 2 hour slots that have been selected. But let's say if you make some wrong selection, you can also cancel it and select that one again. Okay, so after this, let's say you confirm your schedule. So it shows that, okay, congratulations, your booking process is completed, and we will send you an email confirmation within a few minutes, right? And then also there's a support email. Okay, so this was the booking funnel for private lessons. And it's actually very similar if you also try to book a package. So if you click on book a package, the only difference here is that instead of hourly booking, it shows you the name of the package itself, right? And everything else stays the same. So you click here and then you again go to the next screen. You can also maneuver time slots, or sorry, time zones from this section. So anywhere in the platform where you see a calendar, you would also see a drop down with time zones. So time zones are something which are like you can manipulate on the go, and you can see what different time slots are for that particular tutor in different time zones. So based on your own time zone, probably you would want to see the calendar, right? So there's something you can see on all the screens where you have a calendar. Confirm schedule, and then yeah, so it's very similar like we discussed. So I think, yeah, we have gone through private lessons and upcoming classes. In the next video, we'll also cover the other three options, or the other three tabs.